Right, can you hear me? Let's get Mark in, see if we can get Mark back there. Come on. Please, please, please. Yay, success. All right, I do apologise. I lost everyone then. I had to stop the old recording and start a new one. Hopefully, you guys will find me and come back in. That's a little bit frustrating. I don't have any earphones on now, so I've got no idea if I can, if you can hear me. I believe you can. I've had to turn off all my equipment, which is really frustrating. I'm going to have to look at all of that later and see what happened there. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully you're coming in. I'm going to give you a few minutes just to see if people join now. It's going to be a little bit, it's disorientating me a little bit, but it's not a huge problem. I'm quite happy. Hopefully Mark is going to join us again in the studio. Until then, let's just keep going for now. How are you all today? What have you been up to? Hopefully you are having a good day. I'm really hoping that we can get people, see if we manage to get people back in. It's hello. Yes, I can hear someone.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yay, Mark, can you hear me now? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I've had to change devices. I don't know why it didn't work on all my setup, so that's cool. This is the first show. There was always going to be technical issues, but now we know we're in the studio. We can definitely crack on. So it does mean that I've lost the ability to play some music today, which is not a problem. But I've got at least, I've got people here. Mark's there. There'll be other people coming in. So first of all, welcome to the number one podcast, the Infinite Frequency. I am as always your host, Leo Lothbrook. This is a live show, so just please, obviously, if you come in or you do a call or whatever, please be respectful and just know that by coming on, if you come on live, it will be part of the show. It will be recorded, and as long as you're okay with that, that's all cool. The show will be going live the same time, this time every day, Monday to Friday, and that's starting from Monday. Today is more of a test show for me to see how my equipment works, how everything else fits together. And we've just had the first devastating blow because I've just lost the ability to use my mic, headphones and music. However, we do not quit. We do not class that as a failure. We class that as a lesson that I need to look at the equipment, check my setup, because it was working fine earlier, but I've not done it with an interactive show before. It may need to be set up slightly differently. So that's exciting. I get to go and do that later. So first of all, welcome to the number one podcast. Wherever you are, whatever the time is, and whatever your clock says, here's the interesting thing. It's all now, right in this moment. So I am your host. I'm a seeker. I'm a stubborn optimist. And today we're going to turn the world into a higher frequency. So as I say, welcome to the show. I absolutely love the fact that there's people here. Hopefully, if you want to call in, you can do that. And hopefully you can hear me and we'll have some good interactions going forward. So what are we going to do? First of all, I am blessed. Blessed in that the show is taking off and the message is getting out there. Our tribe is getting bigger. And partly because the message is getting out there, but also the time of year, it is a very difficult time for anybody dealing with addictions, afflictions, and contradictions, I like to call them. And it can be a really rough time of year. There are people out there that are not going to be looking forward to the festive season. They're going to be lonely. They're going to be struggling. And my mission, my aim is to be of service. And like I say, I will be here Monday to Friday, every day live in the studio. Hopefully we can get this so it's a proper interactive show where it's a safe platform for everybody to come and be part of it. So that's that. What is it, that got me here? Let's start with what made me start this whole podcast. I started it 5 years ago, and it was a journey that I started in recovery. I didn't quite know what I was getting into. I thought I was just going to go to a couple of meetings and some old guy was going to tell me a couple of wonderful words, and I was going to go about my life and live a brilliant, peaceful life, and it was all going to fit back in together. Fast forward 5 years, and I have realised that is not what recovery is about at all. And I've been blessed to build a tribe along my journey. I've been blessed to speak with people all over the world. And I've been blessed to take suggestions from all over the world as well. And a big part of this journey is the ability to take suggestions and then implement them. And this podcast was just a whim when I very first said it right in the beginning, and it's grown over the time. It has taken me a long time to get to this point. For a long time, it was just me, either in my tent when I was homeless, or in the street, or in my hostels where I was staying. And a lot of the time, it was just me speaking into a microphone and recording and putting it up, hoping that I might have somebody out there that needed to hear the message. But ultimately it went from being about my ego to giving me it's almost become like my working diary, a living diary, if you like, my living journal. You'll see, if you look back through the catalogue of episodes, you'll see that I am, if nothing else, honest, raw and very open. There are episodes that I've gone back and listened to where I am in absolute pieces, where I'm in devastation and struggling. There's ones where I'm angry. There's all sorts. I will wear my heart on my sleeve because I don't know any other way. Equally, the only person I know how to be is me. And I've had a lot of people along the way telling me that the way I was doing this wasn't correct. It wasn't going to work. And a lot of those people, funny enough, were like the coaches and gurus and whatever else. And whilst I'm not going to say to you that I'm right and they was wrong, it's not about that. I knew my target audience, which is, people in recovery, anyone suffering with mental wellness, and obviously the spirituality side of things. Now, because the bulk of it is going to be people coming in recovery, I am not naive in knowing that the first thing we need when we get to recovery, or I needed, was a lot of information. I needed distraction. So if I found something I liked or somebody that resonated with me, I would hope that they would have a lot of material so I could just sit there and absorb and almost use it the same way I used to use other things to get out of my own head. And that, in this day and age, is not the advice you're given. You're told to do short, bite-sized stuff because people don't have the attention span. And like I say, that's the difference between knowing your target audience and not. And when I say target, I don't mean targeting you as in I see you as my targets and you are a tribe. I was you. I was lonely, miserable. I know what it's like to be out there on my own when you think nobody sees you and nobody cares and you've got nothing. And if you're out there now struggling and you think nobody cares, nobody sees you, I see you. The fact you've joined this show, the fact that you've joined our tribe, this, I hope, will become a safe place for you to come and be able to listen to begin with. You'll do that for quite a while, and then eventually you may start to wish to engage. And again, I'm not naive. I know that can take quite a time in recovery to start engaging. But once you do, it will open up some really interesting conversations and avenues that we can go down. And you may even find you enjoy it. So yeah, hopefully you'll stick around and we'll work together and move forward. I do have a back catalogue on this. The show's available on most platforms. This is my very first time I've done a live recording. So, like I say, I've got no idea how it's going to go. I don't know. I just don't know. We're just going to see. We're just going to go through it and see what happens. It's not going to be a full show today because I've lost half my equipment, which is really frustrating. But we don't quit. We don't give in. We continue to move forward. So what should we do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've had some questions that were actually sent in to me via some guests on different platforms. So if I just read a couple of those questions and answer them, then that'll give some of you the answers you've been looking for, and hopefully it will answer those questions. So number one, what made you start this podcast in the first place? Brilliant question. Like I say, I entered recovery about 5 years ago, and at that point I had never ever followed through on anything in my life whatsoever. In fact, I was very good at not following through and just starting lots of things and never finishing anything. And this was an idea that I had. I believe I said it quite flippantly at first. And somehow it has gone on to become a proper show, a proper podcast. And for that, I am truly, truly happy, and blessed, because it's not about me. It is definitely about the message. It's about getting it out there and making or letting people know they are not on their own. Because that was a huge thing for me as well. I hated, I just felt invisible when I was out there. And so many times we get mislabeled, misquoted, or just left behind, I guess, in some ways. So yeah, that's how it started. And then over time, I started to learn that I had a voice. I was able to digest information and then regurgitate it in a way that was consumable for others. And I don't know why, but I am blessed that I do have the ability to take information and pass it forward. And it's taken a long time. I mean, 5 years ago, I couldn't even read and write when I first come into the rooms. I really struggled. And over the time, I've taught myself to read, to write properly, and then I've gone on to educate myself on different things as well. And in doing so, I found the confidence to sit in front of a camera, in front of a mic, and just start talking. For me, it's very therapeutic. I am a huge talker anyway. I can't help it. I could talk for England. I could talk till the cows come home. And with that being said, that's how the podcast was kind of spawned. And I find that by doing this, by talking and answering questions and articulating things, it's become very, very therapeutic for me. And it's definitely given me a purpose, a drive. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning now. I have my shower, bath, whatever, and then I go on about my day. I like being up at that time in the morning when it feels like the rest of the world is asleep. And there are many reasons for that. Mainly because it feels like I'm getting a head start. It feels like I'm pulling one over on everybody, so to speak, which is pretty cool. I don't know if I don't know how many people are here, if you can hear me. So I really am having a few technical issues. It's blowing me away a little bit, but we're going to keep going. I'm hoping that it's picking it all up. And I'm sure we'll find out at the end. It would be most frustrating if I get to the end and it didn't record anything. But you know what? It wouldn't be the end of the world either. So we're just going to have to keep going. And that's what we're going to do. So question number 2 that came in was, what does infinite frequency actually mean to me? I love that question. Oh, that's a good one. The infinite frequency, how did it derive itself? I believe that we live on frequencies. The world talks with frequencies and vibrations. And I wanted something that resonated with me. I do believe that I'm living on a completely different frequency to what I was when I was out there living the old life. And it has taken some time. It's taken a long time to get to this point where I am able to meditate properly, breathe, and be calm. That's the frequency I am on now. It's a calm frequency. And the reason I chose infinite is because I just want it to continue ever after I'm gone. Whatever work is left behind, I would love for the ethos of the infinite frequency to continue to live on and help as many people as possible going forward. It's also about the energy. Frequencies are full of energy. I believe the world and universe completely works off of energy. And working in recovery and working towards alignment, I found that I am in tune with my peoples, sometimes more than I understand. Quite often I've got a friend who we go to ring each other and the other one all of a sudden will be ringing just before. So, and that's like what I call synchronicities and alignment. It's when you're becoming, you're sort of joining the same path, the same reality, the same ethos, goals, destination, if you like. And that's all pretty cool. Do you ever struggle to stay positive? Look, I am a positive person for sure. I'm always bubbly, always in a good mood. But when I say always, look, we're all human. If you're new into this way of life and you're hoping to find a happy life, a stress-free life, or a life where you are positive 100% of the time, I am so sorry. I'm going to burst your bubble. Those things do not exist. For me, life got no different. Life didn't change. What changed was me and my ability to navigate things and to monitor my own emotions and be able to recognize when I need help or I need to lean into something. It's about discipline. I used to hate discipline, routine and schedules. I thought that stripped you of freedom and joy. And what I found since implementing a more regimented, disciplined routine in my life, that actually it's bringing me great freedom. And with freedom does come positivity, and with positivity comes good things. And I think that's the mindset of somebody in recovery. It's important to, make changes and look at things differently. I used to hate discipline. I thought it was just the world trying to control me, and maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But what I find is in my discipline now, when I'm doing the routines, there's a great freedom in it, and I do enjoy it. So I'm going to leave that bit there. I've still got I think there's another 6 or 7 questions that came in. But what I'm going to move on to now, I'm just going to move on to what I call Reflections Corner. And I'm going to read a little reflection and then we shall ponder on it. There was a time when I thought courage meant charging ahead, first into the storm, swinging at every shadow that looked my way. But courage isn't loud. It's the quiet decision to keep walking when the fear whispers stop. AA taught me that fear feeds on isolation. It tells you that you're different, that you can't recover, that your story's too twisted to heal. But when I sit in the circle and really listen, I hear myself in everyone's voice. I realise courage doesn't come from from the fight. It comes from the connection. So today I chose courage over comfort. I face life as it is, raw, unscripted, beautiful and painful. I trust that the same power that got me this far will carry me through whatever's next. No matter what time the clock says, the moment right here, right now, is now. And this is where courage lives. And I believe that. The courage comes in the work that you do and in the connection, in listening and communicating with other people, in making sure that the connections are real. Yay, Mark, you made it back in. Yeah, I've had some problems in the studio today, which is a bit frustrating. I don't know quite what's up with my soundboard, but I'll get to that. We'll look at that. I had to close down that last one and then reopen this, so I don't know if the link's still going to work for the other one. Did you find it difficult to come back in?
No problem, I'm in.
All right, wicked. Well, so I'm just going to carry on going as I was. It is a bit annoying because, like I say, I feel I'm disappointed that I've lost half my equipment for the Today Show, but we do not quit. We do not call this failure. We call this a lesson, and we just carry on going. So I was just talking about a reflection that I had read, and it was about where we find courage. So it was, I'll read it again actually, courage over comfort. There was a time I thought courage meant charging headfirst into the storm, swinging at every shadow that looked my way. But courage isn't loud. It's the quiet decision to keep walking when fear whispers stop. It's recovery recovery taught me that fear feeds on isolation. It tells you that you're different. It tells you that you can't recover, that your story's too twisted to heal. But when I sit in that circle and listen, really truly listen, I hear myself in every other voice. I realise that courage doesn't come from the fight. It comes from the connection. So today I choose courage over comfort. I face life as it is, raw, unscripted, beautiful and painful. I trust that the same power that got me this fear will carry me through whatever's next. And I really like that because I was a fearful man before I came into the rooms. I didn't realise it. I was afraid of everything. And it took an awful lot of courage to start walking these steps and walking this way of life. I have obviously moved into a spiritual life, a more definitely a healthier life, especially lately. And it takes time. But I like it where it said about the courage comes from connection. Because with connection comes alignment. With connection comes a tribe. And when you have a tribe of people helping you, I find that, a big problem becomes a more manageable problem. And in that is where I found my courage to act on things. When people are telling me that they've been through it, they understand this is what worked for them. And then it was about finding the courage to actually step up and do that work. What about you, Mark? Where do you think you find the courage in this way of life and this way of thinking?
Where'd I find the courage for this? I had no choice.
Mm.
I came in here. The courage to step into AA was not my choice. It was other
Mm-hmm.
people's choice. But the courage to stay
Yes.
was because I got a sponsor. I had people in my life that I've never had before. I had friends, and the world is freaking scary. It just really is, and it's scarier sober. And
Yeah.
so I could not do it myself. But what was really cool was people were there for me, and they didn't even know me. And
Mm.
they took me in, that we'll
Yep.
take you in, we'll love you till you love yourself. And
Yeah.
that gave me the courage.
So,
And I also, go
yeah,
ahead.
go on. No, I was going to say, just before so you've been in this journey quite a while now, haven't you? Just a couple of
Yeah.
24 hours, yeah. Um,
Yes.
so for those who don't know, Mark is he's been on the show before. He's been a great supporter of mine. He's helped me in my own personal journey. And I don't think he expected to be right on the show today, but that's just how it happens. And I love the fact that you're stepping up and just going with it, Mark. And I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. So
Okay. This is
yeah,
amazing, Leo. You are spreading the message, and which is so cool. All you have to do is talk and let God do the work, and you're doing it.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm blessed because it was within the recovery groups that I first joined, and the one that we still go to that, very early on, I didn't have any faith in my own ability whatsoever. I didn't think I was worth it. I couldn't read and write properly. But these people, especially Mark and other people within my tribe, they gave me a safe place, and that's what the rooms give you. It gives you, for me, it gave me a safe place where I could really be honest, and even with some of my very warped, bizarre thoughts, these mofos didn't react. They just, some of them actually laughed and was like, "Yeah, I've done that." I'm like, "Huh?" And then you realise that, you're not as bad as you think you were, and you're not as good at being as bad as you were. And it's just been really encouraging, and I'm blessed to have been given the gift of a voice. I can absorb information. I can then, sort of regurgitate it in a way that people understand. And the funny thing is, I don't always understand how that happens. And like, Mark just said, it's imperative that you find a power greater than yourselves, whatever that is. For
Mhm.
me, I pray to my God. Mark has his God. But ultimately, the job of those are the same. It's to guide us, for us to hand out our will and life over, and just follow direction, and the rest will follow.
Uh,
Hmm.
hey, Leo, another thing
Yeah.
that also gave me courage
Yes.
was exactly what you just said. People identified with me, and I
Yeah.
wasn't as bad as I thought I was. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, wasn't that a gift? At the moment you realise that actually, oh shit, I am maybe normal, and that is it was a huge moment for me. And yeah, you're absolutely right. The fellowship is so important, because if you're like me, I was isolated for so long before coming into the rooms.
Yeah.
Um, mm, it's Yeah, I mean, I've been in the program 5 years, and I still go to meetings most days, and I believe you still do as well, don't you? So it's a lifetime commitment. There's no You know, if you're looking for something where you complete it and that you can check out, and then you get a certificate to say, there you go, you're no longer a whatever your affliction was. I'm going to burst your bubble now. That's not going to happen.
Right. You know, I've been
um,
going, when you said I have a few 24 hours, like in January, which is in
yeah,
2 months,
yeah.
I'll have 36 years.
Jesus,
And,
Mark.
and I still come to meetings. I still
Yeah,
don't have the cure.
no.
It's like, you know, no certificate of completion here.
No. Isn't it funny? It's the only thing in life where once you are on this path, for me, the only way I'm going to know if I ever succeeded is
Yeah.
to when I check out and that I'm still the same way I am now. So actually, you will never know. If you're successful, you will never know that you were successful.
Yeah. You know, I told people in a meeting the other day that everybody has this first day,
Yes.
and I wasn't like this 36 years ago. I was
Mm,
miserable and discontented and suicidal, and I hated my
yeah.
life and hated
Yeah.
everyone. And I came in and told them that, and all the AA people were like, "Mm-hmm, keep coming back."
Yeah. Oh, one of that's a saying I hated. Keep coming back. Oh my gosh. What
You're
that?
right.
Yeah. And like initially it was a wonderful saying when you first come in and you're like, oh, these guys keep wanting me to keep coming back. It's beautiful. You feel part of, you keep coming. But when that becomes the go-to response and you don't understand because it simply means keep coming back and keep listening. Keep looking for the similarities. Because the moment you stop because you don't like, or that's not me, I don't have that problem, I found that that's where the problem started for me on the outside. And I'm not brilliant. I still throw my toys out the pram every now and then. I did it the other day. I left all of our groups, and then I had to go back with my tail between my legs and say, look guys, I'm really sorry I had a funny moment. And everyone laughs. They're like, yeah, of course, just join the group again. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And you're right. There was I'm not what I want to be. I'm not what I used to be. But I'm sorry. I'm not what I want to be. I'm not
Hmm.
what I ought to be. But thank God I'm not what I used to be.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Like I know for me, I'm completely unrecognizable to the person that I used to be. And I find great joy in being able to say that. I know that I don't have many people from my old life that have come back to me, and that really caused me stress. Actually, about a year ago, I couldn't understand it. I got into that part of, oh, well, I've done all this, I've done that. Why are these, and it doesn't matter if you're doing it for recognition, if you're doing it for any other reason than for yourself. In my experience, it doesn't work. And it was hard being, a couple of years sober and clean, and then not feeling like I wasn't seeing any results. And you just have to persevere and then realize that, I started to realize the people that I did have in my life, the people that know me for who I am now. And that's also, I don't know how you feel about this, Mark. It's also a paradox of the program that depending who you ask now, and where they met me in my life, their opinions of me would be very, very different. If you ask someone sort of 7 years ago what they thought of me compared to somebody now, you probably wouldn't recognise or believe they was talking about the same person.
Right. It's like celebrities when they get their DUI picture, and then
Yeah,
10 years later they're sober, and you're like, whoa, that was them last. That's
yeah,
us.
absolutely, yeah, 100%. It's, I mean, the good thing is there are so many platforms out there now, and there's so many different things popping up. And I mean, I've been blessed to be able to start working on this, and I'm hoping, like, once I get this equipment situation sorted, that I will be able to do, like I say, from Monday live shows, and just I want to have a platform where it's interactive and people can have instant access to information, services. Because where we're blessed, and I've got connections all around the world. The other thing, I'm setting up my website, and I'll be able to direct people all over the world to different services, different people. And that for me is so huge, to be able to make sure that people aren't on their own anymore.
Right.
Mm.
Well, what you're doing is working.
Thank
You
you,
know,
thank you.
but
Yeah,
look, I found you. It took a lot of rebooting and
yeah,
downloading, but I got you. You
yeah.
know, while you were talking, Leo, in the
Mm.
beginning,
Yeah,
I started thinking about COVID. And I said,
yeah,
COVID took a lot of people out of our lives, or a lot of
yeah,
AA,
yeah.
but look at what it opened up. It
Oh,
opened up
God,
a
yeah,
whole world of AA,
yeah,
right? You go
yeah,
online,
absolutely.
you can never say, I couldn't make a meeting.
No, there's no.
There's 24-hour meetings, and there's like Solution 62, of course, and there's
Yeah.
so many other
Oh,
meetings out
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I've been to all different recovery meetings as well, and what I found is the more I worked on the recovery side, I started to find you find niche meetings as well. Like I was in
yeah,
Pagans in Recovery. There's Covens. There's just there is a recovery group out there for absolutely everybody, and I like what you said there. There's no
mhm,
excuse. There's no excuse anymore. And I often say I love the old timers, people like yourself, people in our group, because I have no idea if I could really have done this. Definitely not as quickly. If I could only go to one meeting a week and I
yeah,
had to leave my house on top of all my mental health and stuff. Like sometimes,
yeah,
you've seen how unstable I've been over the last few years, and obviously it's much better now and it's where it needs to be. But before, that I could plan all I wanted for a one meeting a week, but the chances of being mentally stable, with being in a place that a lot of my time over the last few years have been homeless. So even
right,
being having somewhere safe to go from to it just and that was the bonus thing. You've seen when I was
yep,
homeless, sleeping in the streets and whatever. I used to come on the meetings in the middle of the night on my phone, and I made it work. But I could, because it was instantly accessible as long as I had a smartphone.
yeah.
Mm.
And if all the AA sent you money and sent you gifts, you would not have found a house.
No.
You know why? Because you wouldn't have. Hey, why should I bother? I'm getting all these
Oh,
gifts
good.
and money.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah, and
isn't you have come such a long way since I first met you, Leo, which is 5 years ago.
yeah.
Holy crap!
5 years, man. Well,
I
you was
know.
you were still a teacher, and I never used to like teachers. You became my first teacher I ever really truly liked.
That's right. I taught for 26 years, and this year I retired. But
Yeah,
it's only through AA
yeah.
because you know how many times I wanted to quit? I
Hmm.
told my sponsor, you know what? I'm leaving. This is my last year. He said, well, what you do? What would you do? I don't give a crap. I'm out. I'm out of here.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. I remember because there does come a time in everybody's journey that you'll fall out with your sponsors. I say everybody, I'll speak for me.
Right.
I remember the time when by the time I had the audacity to try and fire my sponsor because he disagreed with something I wanted to do, and I said I was going to fire him, and he turned around and he said, well, "That's all right, you can fire me." He said, "But." He's like, you got a problem now. I said, what's that? He said, because we're still friends. It's like, oh, sugar.
It
So,
really is.
yeah. And that, if you find the right sponsor, I believe that you will grow into a beauty. And again, that's everybody's personal choice, because some people do just have a sponsor and they keep it as a very clinical sponsee thing. The whole program, what I've learned is everything is suggestive. and it's entirely up to you what you choose to take on board or not. I found I never knew what was going to work for me until I took a suggestion, and then if it didn't work, then obviously I wouldn't use it. But definitely I found that if it is something like now, if you make a suggestion, I'm just going to do it anyway, even if I think I know better, even if I think it's not going to work, because I've learnt the hard way. Sometimes we think it's not going to work, and it's the most. It could be the most profound change that you make, and it could be something so small.
You're right.
Mm.
But hey, what you just said is the reason people don't come in or why they go back out is because I know better. I
Yeah.
know, and I'm not in that class. Just like the big book says, I don't fit
Mhm.
under your class,
Yeah.
But you will.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the questions I got sent in by one of my viewers actually was how do I know that I need to go to a meeting like for the first time? And for me, um, the answers for me is very simple. I am yet to come across somebody that walks through the doors and looks around and says, "Nah, yeah, I was just checking if I needed to be here. It's not for me. See you later, guys." Because for me, well, like when I came in, you know something's wrong. The fact that you're looking, the fact that you're even looking at, it starts when you start thinking about even looking for a meeting. And that should tell you that because somebody without a problem wouldn't be looking for a solution.
That's right.
Yeah.
I tell them the same thing. I say, real non-alcoholics drink and they don't discuss AA.
Yeah.
I'm in an AA meeting telling you how I don't
Yeah.
belong here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. I mean,
Keep coming back.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, do the next right thing. I do recall when I first come in though, and I remember hearing that, look for the similarities, don't look for the differences. So I'll be honest, I was like, right, let's see what's different. And then they started reading, I think it was the one of the texts, and it was like, oh damn, yeah, oh yeah, yep, 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 yep. Oh sugar, I'm in trouble. So I didn't have the luxury of going, there wasn't anything in that book that I unfortunately couldn't resonate with. And it was both a blessing and a curse, I think, because it hurt to realise how far down the scale I've come. But at the same time, it was a blessing because I couldn't argue that I was in the right place.
I spent a lot of time in my first couple weeks in rehab
Mhm.
explaining why I didn't belong with you.
Yeah, yeah. I think my
Go ahead.
first 2 weeks were just spent crying my eyes out, if I remember correctly.
Telling them, right, I'm in pajamas. I have no, they took away my shoes. I'm smoking excessively. I have donuts in my hand. I'm going to the ER every other day, telling them
Yeah,
I'm not like you.
yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so
man. It's
it's incredible. This is the
it's
only disease that tells you don't have it.
yeah. Isn't that funny? Isn't that really funny? Like the
Yes.
body and the brain and the mind and all of it has this unique ability to convince the actual person that it's the
Yeah.
rest of the world. It's not them.
And it does say we are recovering from mind and body.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. I see. I definitely think it's a three-pronged approach, because there's the mental obsession, the spiritual obsession, and then the physical obsession.
Exactly right.
And in my experience, if I didn't deal with all of them, I would very quickly wobble and struggle. And I have to maintain that on a daily basis. I do meditate every morning. I do pray every single day.
Yeah.
Um, and please don't be scared off, viewers, if when I talk about the faith and the praying and the meditating, because it doesn't matter what you. But now, right in the beginning, I did not like the word God. I didn't have. I wasn't connected to mine at all. But over time, you realise, or I realised that even like one of my favourites is when someone says, "Yeah, well, I'm an agnostic or an atheist," and it's like, okay, but I didn't ask you to find a God. I asked you to look for something more powerful than you.
Exactly right.
And that can be, that's such a sticking point for people, that word. And it is a shame because it's not about that. And although the program was based, like all recovery programs are based from a Christian program in the beginning. All of the texts come from the same books. All the 12 step programs all originate from one program. And now there are multiple facets, there may be, but they're all based on that original text. Now, what I love about it is if you take the correctness out of it, like what the bits that really matter, is the faith. And the faith is having a purpose. And having faith is like, for me, it was knowing that I had to do the right thing even when people wasn't watching. And without the faith, I didn't have that before.
There it is, without people looking. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, anyone can decide what they want. Like, so I heard someone said something really profound to me, and you know her, she's been on the show before, and we was talking, and I was struggling with, I was saying, look, I call him Odin, I pray to Odin, the old god, but I'm worried that what if I'm wrong, and what if I'm upsetting somebody else who is and she said something so profound to me, and it really stuck with me. She said, "What's my name?" So I said it. She said, "What else do you call me?" So I gave her the nicknames. She went, "But when you call me the nicknames, I know you're talking to me, don't I?" I was like, wow. Here I am down here worrying about what I'm calling him and whether he's going to be upset or not. And actually, I'm missing the point. The fact that you're talking to him, whatever you're calling him, that's the point right there. So that was, for me, it was quite profound.
You're right.
Mm.
You're absolutely right. We have to fight the denial. That really, you don't even know I am lying. That's what denial stands for. And, and we got to fight that to say that's where the first step comes in, where it says the delusion like that, we are like other people have to be smashed. I can't drink and I can't drink and be happy. I can't drink and
no.
I have that. We all have that allergic reaction. We break out in handcuffs. We break out in other countries and cities, and oh my god.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, other countries, cities. That's so funny. I just thought of some of the stories I've heard, and that's the thing. Like, for the people out there that are thinking that they are terrible and that they're worse than anybody else, and they've done honestly, once you get into the rooms, you will hear some stories that will just make you go, "Oh damn, I'm really not that bad."
Right.
And then to other people, yeah, go on. Hello. Oh, he's muted again. But yeah, so it's and it is, you're going to hear all sorts of different stories whilst you're out there, and getting into the rooms is so important. We can't do this on our own, and as you've seen, one of the beautiful things that comes with being part of this community is the fellowship, is the tribe, and the people that
my iPad's died. Sorry, I had to put these on.
That's all right. That's no worries, Mark. And I was just saying how it's beautiful that once you're part of this, you have a tribe. Like, so today I've had technical issues, and if Mark stepped up and he stayed in and he's called back in and he's helping me carry the show through because with my equipment going down, I've lost all my notes, I've lost the music. But that's the beautiful thing about being in recovery, is that you'll have a tribe, you'll have people around you that, even when you're not expecting it, they'll be there. So, like, I'm sure that you didn't have a clue that this was going to go like this. I certainly didn't. But our higher powers put us together and said, look, we've got you. You know, you're trying, you're showing up. That's all we have to do.
That's all we have to do is give it back, and we'll get to keep it. Is that it?
What's that?
I said we have to give it back. We have
Yes.
to give it back to keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, one of the most selfish things I learned to do was do something for somebody else, because it feels amazing. Like,
It really does.
Yeah, and even with my shows, and I'm I'm blessed again that you're here today, because this really, like, had you not come in and been able to help me out here, like, this would have probably knocked me for six, knocked my confidence. The silly thoughts in my head would have gone, oh no, just forget it, you've ruined it now, no one cares. And that's not the truth. And that's what I like about it, is that I can be honest and open. And this is what our audience needs to know. You know, they need to know that just because I look like I've got my shit together, it was only 2 months ago, Mark, you know, I was still on the street.
Yeah.
So to be here today, moving at the pace I am, I'm blessed, and I'm really happy about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. So where else should we go to? What I'd like to do, actually, I'm gonna, where we was talking about you know, the different names, I'm gonna read a poem that I wrote, and then we'll go from there. So it's the poem is called One God, Many Names. I've walked the edge where few return. Through fire, through storm, I felt the burn. Yet in the ashes, through the fight, a voice rose up, my guiding light. One hand of iron, one hand of grace. Both lift me high, both guard my place. The one who sees, the one who saves, the wisdom's deep, the path he paves. Odin whispers through the crying wind, raven circling where it all begins. Jesus walks where lost men stray, soft-spoken truth to light the way. 2 names, 1 flame, 1 guiding hand, 1 heart that helps me rise and stand, not bound by church, nor creed, nor stone, but felt within, the pulse, the bone. So I walk with head held high, through winter's chill, through summer's sky, not lost, not weak, not changed, not blind, for one walks with me, fierce and kind. That's my poem to my higher powers. I absolutely love. Yeah, it's.
Go ahead.
That's something else that happens in recovery. Definitely for me, it led me to find my creativity. I seem to have a very good connection with the English language now and vocabulary. And it's mad, because if you met me 5 years ago, I wasn't quite so articulate. My words were a little bit rougher around the edges. And I certainly couldn't have put anything like that together, because I was just in survival mode. Everything was just about staying alive.
Right.
Yeah, it's madness.
Yeah. I was thinking, you know, Leo, I have almost 36 years, and you have 5 years, and we're in the exact same place.
Yeah, you know? Isn't that beautiful? Yeah.
it's like I have 36 years today. It doesn't work that way.
No, yeah. Oh, God, did I want that, though, when I come in the room? I wanted them big numbers that people were putting up. And like you say, you soon realise, I mean, the magic's in the work that I wasn't doing. And you can't, you know, you just can't have 20 years in one go. And nor would I want to now. Once you've actually been through the steps, or once I've been through the program and I've helped other people do it as well, and I definitely, you would lose out on so much. It's the whole journey that's the process. It's all of it.
You're right. It's all of it put together. Yep.
Yep.
And all we have is right now. That's it.
No, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And
you want to say you have these big numbers, but I always tell wow, you have a lot of years for having one day at a time.
It's like you and some of the other old timers say that all we have is as long as we've been up that day, because it doesn't matter. Like yesterday didn't happen, tomorrow is never here. All we have is now, literally now, and that's important.
Yeah, and we can make New Year's resolutions every single day.
Yes, yeah, yeah, literally, and like one of the things that we're taught early in recovery is that we can't say that we shouldn't promise people we'll never drink again, and I used to hate that, or we won't use again. I used to hate that, but there's also a kind of grace it gives yourself in that it takes that pressure off, and it just means that it's you're just being honest, and now I don't think I ever will ever again, but I certainly wouldn't want to put myself in a position where I've said it and then do it again, and then here we go, all the amends starts again, the apologies and all that bullshit cycle. So you've just
I won't say I won't drink again, I'll say I won't drink today.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep, I can do that. And it's like one of the other things is when I used to come in and say, "Oh, I've had a terrible week," and you guys would go, "Oh, really? I thought you was doing this one day at a time. How can you have a terrible week in a day?"
Yes, right. I say that. You're right. I say, "How do you have a terrible week if you're living in today?" Oh, crap! Crap! Yesterday, so this happened. Okay, what happened today? Nothing. You didn't drink. Congratulations. It's hard to have a bad week when you live one day at a time.
It's absolutely insane. It's something I'd like to do, Mark, is I know I've got you on in and there's people listening, whatever, but I'm going to, once I get this equipment sorted out, and I know that you've got some free time now, I'm asking you on there, it's more so you can't say no, really.
Right.
I'd like to do it so that you come on maybe daily or maybe every other day, and we do like a few segments together, because you've got so much knowledge there and experience, and what you also have is just the right kind of temperament and humility to put that information across, and I would be honoured if you would work with me going forward. Absolutely.
That would be awesome. I would love that. Leo, let's start in January since I'm leaving. I'm going to Europe.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are. Definitely. Well, that's cool, because that'll give us time to, because I'm still this is my first live, as you guys know, and it's unfortunately I've had equipment failure. I won't lie, I am really peed off about that, but all I keep hearing my higher power saying is, look, you turned up. That's the main thing. You showed up, you've tried, you know where the problems are, just reassess it and go again. So, absolutely blessed. I think for now, I'm probably going to wrap it up, because I've lost a lot of my material, and I do want to try and get to grips with my equipment. I can't thank you enough for coming in, Mark. Calvic, welcome, and thank you for joining us as well. What I'll do is when I come off, I'll stick this up and put it up as a show, just to say the first attempt at the live show. And I will be back on Monday at the same time, and I promise you I'll have the equipment all sorted out as best as I can, and hopefully we can have a full show.
That's awesome.
I can't thank you enough, Mark. Thank you so much. I hope you didn't mind. I love talking to you. You are one of the inspirations in my life, and I know what I love is I could say that and you aren't on a pedestal. You know that we are all just human.
Yeah, that's as far as we're ever going to achieve, being human.
Yep.
I love you, man. You take care, and thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Thank you so much. And anyone who's listening, thank you very much for joining us. And I will be back Monday. I will be putting up lots of shows. I'm going to do some recordings this afternoon to make up for the fact I couldn't do a full show. So just stay tuned, keep safe. Calvic, I will reach out to you. Message me if you want. I see that you followed. I've got a whole back catalogue of about 250 shows, so feel free to look through that. That'll get you through. And for now, guys, stay safe. Mark, I love you to pieces, and I will see you guys soon, all right?
Take care, Leo. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Love ya.